Hello, friends. Welcome in to Led to Gold, the podcast devoted to discussing all things growth and wellness. And today's episode is so special to me. I cannot wait to bring this to you. And in all honesty, when it first hatched, I kind of was like, okay, this is silly, this is fun, but there's no way I'm publishing this. And then as it progressed, it just became so obvious that it was something that wanted to be shared. And I am just thrilled to actually have a record of this and to be able to share it with you today. And I am just, so excited. So it's a special episode, no topic really at all, but I was fortunate enough to be able to get back together with two of my very best friends since middle school just this past weekend. And it was for another one of our best friends' weddings. So we had spent sort of this weekend together. We got ready together. It was the first time I had seen one of them since I think the other one's wedding, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe there was a time in between there. I don't know though. But in any case, it's, as you get older, these friendships distance themselves, it's harder to see each other. I am just so beyond blessed and grateful that these two people who have been so important to me since I was literally 12 years old are still such a huge part of my life. So today we are going to play We're Not Really Strangers together, and I can't wait for you to hear it. We decided to do this after we met up for dinner a few days after our friend's wedding, just kind of like to catch up one last time, like really get things out, talk about things that we hadn't talked about in quite some time, and relay a bunch of stuff. And it was just wonderful. So we went to dinner, we shared a bottle of wine, shared a dessert, and then Roxy hadn't seen my house before because she lives in LA and I live in Virginia. So I was like, all right, well, we got to come over for a couple minutes. Just come over, just come see the house, meet my cat, and then you guys can go. But as soon as we got home, I ended up showing them sort of my setup, and they were like, what if we just recorded an episode right now? So that's what we did. We recorded an episode, and it's a treat. So if you want to stick around and listen to some great, awesome story times, and also just some good friendship, good long-lasting friendship, this is a great episode for you. If you're interested, I have a couple links in the show notes, one of which is a link to buy the game We're Not Really Strangers, which is what we play today. There are all kinds of different versions of this game. So whether you are playing with actual strangers, or you want to play maybe with a partner, or journal to yourself, there are all kinds of games that they sell for different occasions. So check that out. It would make a great gift. And speaking of gifts, I have a little Led to Gold announcement that I'm super excited about. And this link is also in the show notes. That is right. Led to Gold has some merch. So click on that. I now have a couple different shirt designs. I have stickers. I have mugs, pretty much anything you want. But it would be so amazing if you check that out, if you decide to purchase anything or give it as a gift to a friend. I think these shirts are really cute and I'm proud of them and I like the phrases. I'm hoping to have more. Don't really know if I have any like catchphrases for this show yet, but maybe that'll take a little digging on my end. In any case, go check them out. Go grab a shirt, grab a sticker if you're on a budget. There's all kinds of stuff there for you, and it would mean so much to me. Just this little teeny tiny bit of income helps with getting the show produced and takes care of fees and all that good stuff. So check that out. And the last little thing for now just as my regular spiel, if you enjoy this episode, if you have been around for a while and you haven't rated the show yet, it would be wonderful if you took a second to do that or share it with a friend, whatever you want to do. I love knowing that I have your all support. I love hearing from you. If you have questions or just want to like follow up about something we talked about today, feel free to DM me on Instagram. Again, all the links are in the show notes, but I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go over to our really amazing, wonderful conversation. And I just love them so much. And I can't wait for you to hear this conversation. So I love you and I'll see you on the other side. Bye. Hello, friends. Welcome to Led to Gold, the podcast devoted to discussing all things growth and wellness. And I am your host, Erin Taylor. And today's episode is going to be really fun. So fun. I have my two middle school besties here. Introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Megan. I work in education. For a little bit of background about myself. So I'm like Erin. I work in education and I'm a stay-at-home mommy right now. My little boy is 3 months old at the time that we're recording this.
The baby.
But yeah, that's a little bit about me. How about you introduce yourself, girly?
Hey. My name's Roxy and I live a life of many colors on my color palette. I work in the food industry.
What a fucking
and I love
Leo.
to dance. And that's about it. La, la, la.
It's Be Real? Oh my God, I don't have my phone. Shit.
If you're not being real.
Okay, well, I don't
You're
have my
being
phone right
fake.
now. But we thought it would be fun to do a special little episode where we play We're Not Really Strangers. Was that the vibe? Do we want to do this?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the vibe.
Okay, so we're going to play We're Not Really Strangers. If you have listened to this show before, you know that at the end of every episode, I always pull a card from the Healing Expansion Pack.
Snaps for that.
And it's great, and it's so much fun. But today we're just going to play like the standard game, and we're going to pretend like we're strangers, even though we're not, because we've known each other since we were literally 12 years old.
And then the point of this game is to win at empathy. Okay, great.
Yep. All right.
I'm going to win because I have a degree in counseling.
Fuck, I'm outmatched.
Wait, can I curse on this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm
here
the
we go.
queen of empathy.
Like, I'm an empath, so like a lot of people don't really understand me. Like I just see people and like they have feelings, and I'm like, wow, I can't.
Is she adding me right now?
She's a Leo.
I know. We know. We're going to find out. All right.
I don't know who M is, but you are not path.
That path is going straight to the psych ward, like,
Oh my God.
and not in the healing way.
Not in a cute, like quirky, beautifully dark way. Okay. Card number 1. Usually with round 1, it's like it's not that deep. We are asking each other questions, which, like, to be fair, we met when we were 12, so some of these might
I
be
feel like we've had every deep conversation possible. So
Yeah,
like,
let's
this
just
question's
rehash.
gonna be like, "What's your favorite color?" And we're gonna be like, "Girl."
See, like, okay, question number 1, I already am like not gonna ask because you already know, so I'm not gonna ask.
Wait, no, you have to ask it now.
I'll ask it. But what subject do you think I thrived in at school?
English.
Did I fail?
English.
Did I fail any?
Math
I didn't fail math.
in college.
I didn't fail in math. I
You
didn't
didn't
fail in
fail,
college. I scraped.
You scraped.
I scraped.
We literally just had this conversation 20 minutes ago.
We literally did. Okay. Question 2. Ooh. Do you think I've ever checked a significant other's phone for evidence?
I don't. I wouldn't say evidence because you and Mikey have never had that relationship where you felt like you needed evidence for something. But I'm sure you checked his phone for information because knowing Mikey, he just didn't tell you everything you needed to know. So you checked his phone for something. That's my guess. But I don't think it was for like evidence because he was doing something you were suspicious of.
Okay.
That's my answer.
Okay.
I would also echo that, and you've been together for 12 years at this point. So I think something like that is bound to happen. especially because back then we didn't even have iPhones.
Facts. When we started dating, we both had like NV1s. Do you remember those?
And now the envy has taken us all.
I know. Fuck.
But yeah, I think you probably have, but not in a sinister way. And I also think you guys don't have a surveillance-based relationship. So
Correct.
I think it's happened, but not in an unhealthy way.
Correct.
It's probably happened though.
Yes.
It's 12 years. Like,
Yeah, I would say I check out of boredom, but I don't like check for anything. It's like sometimes his phone is closer than mine, and I'm just like, screen. Let me go on it.
And you're like, I just have to look. Like, what's going on?
Sometimes I
here?
just want to know, and then I'm like, and then I always laugh because I'm like, it'll be like his coworkers and me, and then I'm like, that's literally the only people you text. Wild.
Do you ever do this, like when his phone rings and he's texting, you like read what he's texting, not like in a way to be like, who are you texting, but like I want to know what you're saying to somebody else.
Yes.
I don't know. I do that to Nick all the time, and mostly it's when he's talking to his mother. I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
Like I'll look at what he texts his mom and be like, how do you talk to your mom? I just want to know.
I'm like, what do they want? Like, you don't talk to anybody but me, so
What does this person want right now?
right.
Anyway, yeah, correct. Good job.
All right, this is a fun one. It says, what about me intrigues you?
You start.
I think for me, something that I guess intrigues me and really amazes me about you is the fact that you really don't care what other people think of you, like in a very mostly true sense. Wait, you wanted to like a welcome to We're Not Really Goofballs, I guess. I don't know. Are we supposed to be yucking it up right now?
Wait, we're supposed to be crying 2 minutes in, bro.
I know. I just think that you're really intrigued. The intrigue really gets to me. Okay. Yeah, I think like that's been very persistent, and I think the older we get, the more I realize how much of a gift it is for you. All of our good qualities also have double-edged swords sometimes, but But I just really admire it. I think it's something that I don't contain, and it's something that I think has probably gotten you out of a lot of trouble and a lot of stress.
Aww.
And an intrigue. And since my brain doesn't work that way, I'm always intrigued by how that works.
I love that. Okay, so I think when we were younger, I always kind of thought of you as aggressive is not the right word. But
no, but I fully understand what you mean.
Yeah. So assertive is probably the better word. But going from like kind of just knowing you as that friend that like just could like say anything to then becoming a counselor, I just think is like a really
like oxymoronic almost.
A little bit, but like not in a bad way. It's like, I mean, because you still possess the power to like tell it like it is, but with grace. Because now you're a counselor, so it's like, whoa, how did you merge the two? I think that's the thing for me.
I think that's very good points, and it's funny that intrigues you all about me, because growing up I've always kind of hated that about myself, that like I cannot like essentially live a lie. Like I have to say what my truth is at all times, and it bothers me because I'm like, you can't just let anything chill. Like especially with my mother, I see that come up a lot. Oh, we're already getting deep.
Ooh, let's go.
But like I have mommy issues.
Don't we all?
I know, but especially with my mother. And it's funny because Nicholas said this to me last night. Nicholas is my husband, for everybody that doesn't know me, but he said like, why does it always have to be a fight with you and your mom? I'm like, because if I don't say what I'm thinking, then I'm letting her think a lie. Like, he's like, just say okay. I'm like, but it's not okay with me. And I don't want her to think that it is. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know. I've just always been like, what's that word say?
Vehemently.
You know, that fancy word. I know what it means, but I can't pronounce it. But I've always like just been so passionate about like telling people my truth and what it is. But at the same time, like I've always kind of hated that, because it's like, dude, you need to just chill. Like, just
it's
like
a balance.
Like it's not necessarily a battle. But I do it's funny you mentioned that with counseling, because counseling, you do have to be very empathetic. And I'm an empath. But I find that it has come super in handy, especially with elementary school, because these little girlies come up in my office and they're like, this girl doesn't want to be my friend. And it's very helpful to not be like, oh, well, I'm so sorry you feel that way, but to more be like, okay, what do you want from me? Like, what do you want me to do about that? Because these little girls, they kind of just want like a friend to talk about it with, but they don't they want something. Clearly, they're coming to your office. So you need to have kind of a balance of being like, I'm here for you. I want to talk to you about this. I want to help you. But what do you have in your brain that I can do for you in this situation? And then they're like, oh, well, I don't really know. I'm like, okay, so this isn't going to work then. Like, you need to go back to class. Like, it kind of helps you dig through the fluffiness.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
A perfect balance. And that's why she's a Libra.
Yeah.
Bitch. Okay.
We're balanced.
That's fascinating. You know, I think if someone met both of you, they would say you're the Libra and you're the Aries.
Really?
Yeah. Like on first meeting, you're very like Aaron is very much like, you know, life is all about like balance and like a beautiful vegetable garden. Megan's like,
true.
I'm gonna play soccer and I'm gonna kick your butt. Like,
Okay. I see.
But-
I see.
but then you know they are sister signs, so
It's true.
one without the other. And they say Aries is the infant of the zodiac, so
Which I was.
it's hilarious. Yeah,
I'm the baby.
but that's what makes Aries so beautiful is they don't hold a grudge because they already forgot.
It's literally. Yep. You know.
All right,
And it's
my
what
turn. Is it this one?
level
this side.
1?
Level 1, fight. Oh. This is a fun one. What do you think I'm most likely to splurge on?
Ooh, I actually feel like I don't know if this is right, but my immediate response would be like cool clothes. Cause like you always do your fit checks, and I actually really miss the fit checks on Instagram where you do the song, and I don't. Please explain, because I feel like it's a thing that I'm not caught on to. But anyway, that would be my initial.
I don't know. It's hard because I sadly don't know adult Roxy as well as I knew middle school, high school Roxy. But if I go off of the Roxy I know, I would have to say some sort of experience. Like, you seem to be a very experiential, like, thrill seeker that way. So, like, I know you travel, your parents were pilots, so you did a lot of standby seats that way. So you were, like, always, like, seeking to have a new experience in some way. And I think that's something that you would pay the big bucks for, because you did go to Japan, I think, a while ago, and, like, loved that. Very big weeb vibes. Love that for you.
Listeners, I have to clarify something for the sake of the audience. Even though I love Japan, I actually hate 99% of anime, and I don't watch a lot of it. I'm sorry, not sorry.
I believe it.
I can't watch a show where there's like a 12-year-old with a huge rack.
Okay, literally.
I like one of the shows I really love called Violet Evergarden was so good, and then they just brought in a random character who just had jugs like
Cringe.
to an absurd sense, and I was like, God damn it. But anyway, I'll let you finish.
I mean, yeah, that's just the vibe I got forever ago, but obviously you're not that way. But yeah, just experiential, something where you can experience something outside of you is my answer.
I think you both got ding 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 correct.
Oh, sick.
Because I think I always thought if I could win $1 million, I'd really want to go to Fashion Week or something.
Oh my God, I could see it.
Wear something, yeah, or like just like that's one of my goals in life is to sit in someone's fashion show, even if it's really small, especially if it's really small, honestly. And you're totally right about the experiences. So both y'all nailed it. So.
Nice.
And I don't think that has changed very much in my adult life, except that I have some income now, but not that much. So,
you know, we're doing our best out here. Okay, should we stay on level 1?
Let's go level 2.
All right, let's do level 2.
1 is very surface level.
Yeah,
and
we already know the
each
shit.
other,
All right,
yeah.
level 2.
Although we got a little deep there, so.
I don't want to do any wild cards though, It was like have a staring contest. I'm like, I don't feel like it. Ooh, okay. Describe your perfect day. So I guess I answer that for myself. Okay, so my perfect day would be to sleep in a little bit, not too much, so I don't feel like I've wasted my whole day. So I think my optimal time would be like, I don't know, 9 a.m. And the weather was so perfect the night before that I could like sleep with the windows open and not have a stuffy nose in the morning, you know? So I'm like waking up all comfy, cozy. And then my partner, Mikey, goes, hey, let's go to brunch. I'll pay. And then so we go get brunch. We get like delicious breakfast sandwiches, best latte I've ever had, vibes. And then the weather continues to be beautiful. So it's like, you know what? I think we should go river swim or something. So then we'll like go over to river swim and then nobody's there so we can skinny dip and vibe. And it's nice and deep and it's nice and refreshing and it's beautiful and we get like a nice glowy tan going on and we're there all day and like we can just bring nice like little fruits to eat and like good snacks, listen to good music, and then the group chat texts and says, hey guys, miss you, let's hang out tonight. Let's just go hang out. And we go, yeah, let's hang out. And then we hang out and we drink a little bit and it's great. We play some games. We come home and then the next day we're not hungover. But I guess that doesn't count as the same day. We're not going to be hungover the next day. That's my perfect day.
Amazing. That sounds very attainable. So
Pretty simple. You know, I can do that.
Mikey should take notes.
Yeah.
Where is he at?
By the way, speaking of no hangovers, this episode is sponsored by Liquid IV.
Dude.
It's not, but Liquid IV if you're listening, and also respond to my job application. Thank you.
Listen, when I get enough listenership, Liquid IV, you know where to find me.
This is not sponsored by Liquid IV.
But one day it will be.
One day, maybe. Okay, this one is good because I don't have daddy issues. I have mom issues. But it says, what's your father's name? And tell me one thing about him. So my dad's name, I'm not going to give out last names, but
That's fine.
My dad's name is Richard. I call him Ricky.
What the fuck, Richard?
What the fuck, Richard? Yeah, I call him Ricky.
Ricky Bobby?
I don't know why, because my dad was called Ricky when he was younger. One thing about him is I think I get a lot of that personality that we were talking about earlier from my dad, because he's one of the, I'm going to air him out right here, one of those hardcore conservative Republican men that like raised a strong-willed, independent daughter. Mm-hmm. And then he wonders, why I'm a registered Democrat. But it's just funny. Like I get that from him, and he's always taught me to like never throw the first punch, but always finish the fight. Is my dad's like motto. So yeah, love him. Strong-willed guy, even though he's problematic sometimes. But what dad isn't,
right?
If your dad is not problematic, call in. We want to talk to him.
We'd like to ask some
Bring all the
questions.
dads. Write in some fan mail. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to talk to dads. What title would you give this chapter in your life? Oh boy.
Ooh,
That's a good one. I would call it it would be called it would be called Psych Bitch.
Wait, can you explain?
Yeah. SIKE. Yeah.
Psych, bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because I think I'm still very go with the flow with life for sure, but life has taken me in a direction that has been all over the place, and just when I think it's starting to settle, it doesn't. But I'm very happy, so I'm not really that mad about it, but it's just kind of like I think talking to both of you is interesting, or like seeing your guys' lives and being here right now, because it's nice to talk to people who have some settled dust, whereas my dust is still getting kicked up all over the dang place. So it is beautiful. Amen. And I'm really appreciative of it. And
sometimes I envy that. I wish it wasn't so, like, for me, kind of, it's not rigid, but it's like I've made my life in the way that I think it needs to be. And so I've done a good job at that, but sometimes I'm like, maybe I want to move to LA and like dance in a dance studio and get laid off from my job 2 times. And sorry, airing out your shit, Roxy, but like it's what makes life beautiful.
Yeah, hire me, please.
But no, I that could be one thing that intrigues me or I envy about you, is that you're able to go with the flow and like have these new experiences, like moving across country, where I think even moving to like fucking Charlottesville here, I'd be like quaking in my boots. But like that's awesome for you.
Moving sucks even if you're moving one house over. So yeah. And yeah, it's like I looked back and I think in the past 10 years I've lived in 7 places.
Jesus.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then even when I've been in Los Angeles, I've moved a few times, but I haven't ever moved out of my town there. But it really, I think a lot of times when change happens, it makes you realize how good the rest of your safety nets are. Like, I'm really grateful to have friends on 2 sides of the country who are still here for me and let me be on their podcast randomly. and who I have loving family who's willing to be there for me, and I'm healthy. So I think despite the psych bitch happening, it does make you realize, like, hey, you know what? I can get back on my feet no matter what happens to me. So,
dude,
knock wood.
Poetry.
Knocking the wood.
Just a quick side note on that. Like, that is something that I have been thinking about so much recently, just in terms of, you know, I mean, we are 26, 27. Like, most of us at this age are like decently healthy, but God, like, I'm not taking that for granted. I'm not taking that for granted. Like,
everyone go to the dermatologist.
Go to the dermatologist. Go to the
I need to get a pap smear. I'm sorry.
Podcast, do your like find a PCP, bro. I know, like it's a whole thing. I made 3 doctor's appointments today. 3.
Good for you. That is hard.
Let's go.
In my head, I'm like, if I avoid medical things, then nothing bad will ever happen to me, and that is a bad attitude to have. That's not true at all.
It's not, but it's like, I don't know. It's like out of my head long enough that I can just be like, maybe it's fine. You know,
it's true, but then it's not fine.
Rarely fine.
It's not fine.
I wish I could say I avoided medical things, but I was religiously checked, obviously, because I was pregnant. So
I mean,
for good reason.
It's kind of nice though when you get to do it for other people, like your wonderful, beautiful child, because when you have yourself, you're like, man, I don't care.
I know the only time I ever like really took care of my body is when something else was like taking it over,
living in it.
But yeah, like it's funny because they constantly sit there and like tell me what's wrong with me and why I need to fix it for somebody else, and I'm like, okay, thanks, I guess I'll do it because it's an innocent baby, but still.
God, you're such a baby, bro.
I know. That's like my favorite thing to say to him. I'm like, you're being such a baby right now, and he really is, because he's 3 months old.
He really needs to grow up.
No, he needs to stay little forever. Yeah.
No, he's so little and precious, and I love him.
All right.
And he made my ovaries melt. Don't worry about it.
He's so cute. Okay, go.
It's fine. Okay, so I pulled this one out a second ago because I did have to think about this, but it is a wild card, and it's the only wild card that I will actually play, because it just says admit. It just says admit something. Admit something. So I had to think about it for a second because it has to pertain to both of you.
We're on live television, by the way.
Yeah, it's not like that crazy, but I'm
on the edge of my seat. Let's go.
I did an episode like a little bit ago about like adult friendships and like how fucking hard it is when like people move away. And don't know if y'all listened, but I have a really
Should I admit something?
Yes, you can admit something.
You go first.
After me.
I admit that I don't listen to your podcast every time, but
dude, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so no, but here's the thing. So I did talk about how I am just like really bad at dealing with friendship breakups and like friends who are like distant. Roxy was my first really close friend that was like, I'm moving far away in the recent past, if that makes sense. And I cried for like 2 hours when you texted me that. I think you texted our whole friend group chat and you were like, guys, I'm moving to LA. And it was so.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
No, I swear. It was like the Fab Five group chat. And I remember this vividly, but you texted, guys, I'm moving to LA. And it was so like casual and nonchalant, and I like in my head, it's okay. I swear to God,
I believe you.
I swear to God it happened. But in my head, I was like, because it was like worded nonchalantly, I was like, she's over us. She doesn't care about us anymore. And I didn't really think that, but just like the little tiny part of my head that was just like, she's like so nonchalant and cool and she's just moving to LA and it's fine. I cried for 2 hours.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious. I'm so I get so heartbroken every time anybody moves, bro.
Oh.
And we hadn't even seen each other in like 2 years. But when you texted that, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Everything sucks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that makes me sad.
I know, I was sad too.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry
okay.
I did that. You don't deserve. I'm hugging your knee.
I know you didn't mean it like that. I know, like obviously we're still just
I'm
like
right
being
here.
idiots.
And also, like, I actually think that's a flaw of mine I need to start correcting is I am like the queen of the Irish goodbye, or like
You gotta do it sometimes.
in this world, we're so connected all the time that I need to be private. Yeah. And sometimes that looks like going to people and being like, hey,
by
so
the
I'm
way,
like moving across the country. See you later. Like, I remember this has been going on since high school because I remember everyone thought after my freshman year that I had been going to UVA, and I was like, no.
Did you like tell people that or
no?
Why did they think
I
that?
think they just assumed I was going for some reason. Even though back then I was posting on Facebook, so they weren't following my life story. So there's something wrong with them. But yeah, like even for this most recent time when I was in LA for 3 years, lost my job, and then came back to the DMV, and again, I don't like a big send off. I was just like, I'll be back probably.
Yeah.
And then people were like, hey, do you want to come to my event right now? It's in the OC. And I was like, no, I'm in Washington, DC right now.
Vibes.
So yeah, I think that's a problem. And clearly it has hurt your feelings. And you're not the first person who's been hurt or saddened by that. And I'm so sorry. So
it's okay.
I'm
if it
really,
makes you
really
feel better,
sorry.
it is very much not just you. It's like every time anybody leaves ever, I'm just like, why are you leaving?
Oh, well, clearly I come back.
Abandonment issues.
And that's fair. But I think too, like Megan mentioned earlier, both my parents are pilots, and I mentioned this to you guys earlier.
True.
It's like when loved ones leave, I always know they're going to come back because that's just the way. I'm sure that has something to do with blah 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 attachment styles. You're the counselor, you can tell me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like, yeah, I'll see y'all again.
I think rationally I know that, but just like my little tiny animal brain is just like, but
that's okay. That's very sweet. That's very meaningful.
I love
okay.
you. That's all.
Passing off to Megan.
This one's kind of deep, and I don't know why this isn't the second one because I feel like I'm scared for the third one if this is the question.
Third one is like we could play the couples version if y'all want, but third one is reflection. So
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what this one is, but it says, what question are you trying to answer most in your life right now? That's why I'm like, are we sure that's not the third one? It is, but I feel like the question I'm trying to answer most is like, and I feel like most 20-somethings can relate of like, have I built the life that I've wanted? Like, am I still like on the right path? Because like we're still at an age where if I wanted to, I could change everything I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like scared to do it. Like, is this what I want? Like, I have a child now, so I can't really like go back on that. But like, is the job what I want? Of course, Nick is who I want. Obviously, I wouldn't have married him if not. But like
vibes.
But like, is living in the area that we live in what I want? Is staying in the area that we live in what I want? Because that's what we're deciding right now. Because we really do enjoy the area. It's a great place to raise a child.
But the money.
But it's expensive. But you know, the world is expensive right now. So it's like, but is this what we want? And so I think that's the question that I'm constantly trying to answer right now.
Yeah. Preach to that. Jeez.
That was a great answer. That was a really beautiful answer, and I concur with everything you said. Whoa, this is interesting. What is the most unexplainable thing that's ever happened to you? I think I probably have something for this. I'm sure you do. I've had a
Ooh.
lot of like strange or like out of body moments in my life.
Okay. Love that. Immediately love that.
What is going on? Like, what is like? Is this real life right now?
You know what you're
Oh my god, I can't. Like, I can't think. There's like too many things flooding my head right now.
Do you know what? Okay, can I just say one thing?
Of course.
The Vine that you just reminded me of, that guy that's just like, you ever just like think to yourself like, what the hell is going on, man? That's the whole Vine.
I don't think I remember that one.
I love it. It's
I know.
it's
Same.
the same guy. It's the same guy that's like, give me my hat back, Jordan.
Yeah.
You want to go see Uncle Cracker?
We're not going to Uncle Cracker. Okay. I think this one isn't the most unexplainable thing to happen to me, but it's the only one coming to mind right now. So I worked at a meat processing plant in Michigan for a summer.
What a way to
No,
start a story.
it gets okay. Listen, Michigan is one of the most beautiful places on earth in the summertime. It is gorgeous, and there's no mountains, so the sun sets at like 9:15.
Incredible.
It's awesome. But I also discovered there's a lot of weird people there. So when I was there, I joined a Christian hip hop dance team.
Oh.
And then when I was working at Tyson, there was this weird receptionist. And then I feel bad. I'm just going to air out this poor receptionist's life, but it was truly wild. But she was like telling me her 16-year-old daughter had like a 21-year-old boyfriend. And I was like, uh-huh. And basically when I was an intern there, I would work in like the office area of the meat processing plant, have to go down there a lot and do like a lot of checks. And she would just like, I would get off work at 4:30, and obviously I didn't want to be there anymore, but she would just stand in my door. So there was nothing I could do but just listen to her. And she would talk to me about how when the daughter wasn't there, she would also date the boyfriend because he had multiple personality disorder.
Hello?
And would revert to this form she called the shadow form. And when they were in the car, and then she told me this weird story of when they were in the car together, and then she like trapped him in one of his forms and was like talking to him about her daughter and stuff like that. And anyway, later she did end up having to go to the psych ward, and then she came back, so I think she was healed more. But I would have to be with her every morning and slice deli meat and taste it all at 9 a.m. And be like, hey, there's not enough caramel on the breakfast sausage line. We need to get that up.
Like all the while thinking about this.
So that's like one thing. I don't know if I'd call that unexplainable. It's more just like, it's just weird. I'm trying to think of like that's so hard to describe.
It sounds like that question sounds like ghost stories, you know?
Yeah, like a psychic feeling.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think
a good
I
answer.
got nothing else.
That's a very
That's the
Roxy,
best you're gonna get out
that's
of
a
me.
very Roxy answer.
I have so many stories like that. Okay, wait. Sorry.
Yes.
Also,
keep going.
when I was on the Christian hip hop dance team,
Okay.
there was this girl on the team. Okay. I'm sorry. This is gonna be longer, but this is a great story. She was like super hippy dippy, like very much like Earth Girl kind of thing, and yeah, I don't know how Christian everyone was. I think the leader was, and we would only dance to like Christian rap music, but I think most of us were all like weird people, sinners.
No
I guess
creed.
we're all going to hell.
So no,
We're going to HE double hockey sticks. Anyway, she was nice enough to invite me over to her place, which, you know, when you're an intern in a state you've never lived in, you're very grateful for that. And she seemed pretty cool, and we would like to do like electro dance together, just like vibe to EDM music. So she had this really cute house in Grand Rapids, and when she was there, she was giving me a tour. She has a geodesic dome in her backyard.
Incredible.
With a yoga swing. So I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, you know, like my neighbors, like when they open their laundry detergent in their basement, like I can see all the air molecules of it like go out and go into my nose. Like I'm just so sensitive to it. And then she said a few strange racial things that were not necessarily like mean, but were just odd, and I don't care to repeat them here. But then I was like, okay, well, you know what? They got food, they got fresh guac, and then we were like dancing and stuff and living life, and then we were just talking, and she's like, yeah, I used to do the yoni egg thing where I'd put the egg in you know where they put the egg. But she was like, yeah, and I was at a party and I pooped and it fell out and I had to get it out with a spoon. Anyway,
At a party?
later I found out she juices all her own things, and she thinks that foodborne illness and like E. coli is like invented by the U.S. government.
Okay.
And
I know the kind of girl this is.
then I found out that she got pregnant, and before that we thought it was going to be with one specific guy, but he had actually been cheating on her because he would say, I'm going to go plant the avocado seeds we have left over, but little did she know he was planting other seeds.
He's planting.
And then I
his
unfriended her on
seeds.
Facebook because she's like, I'm not vaccinating my child.
Eek. Eek, eek, eek.
La la la.
Eek.
Okay, that's enough.
La 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 la.
Those are my party stories. We're gonna do them again, probably.
Wild, each of them.
Wow.
In one summer.
I feel like you live such an interesting life.
God.
And like I wish.
Meeting people like that in the wild is really a different ballgame, because it's like you see that online like left and right, but then when you actually have a conversation with somebody like that, you're just like,
They
oh.
exist?
Oh God.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't have any story like that where I'm like,
Wait, okay, this is not related to my question yet, but can I tell you guys a crazy Karen story?
always there's so many in this
from
area.
the past week. No, it wasn't. Yes, it wasn't.
Jeez.
It wasn't this area, which was the craziest thing. But it was like, I don't know. I just like I have not seen a Karen in the wild before. It was insane. But okay, like the backstory to this: we were in Mexico. My partner and I were both in Mexico for like 5 days. It was great. Everybody was so fucking nice. Everyone was nice. It was wonderful. Like all the people we met. However, we were kind of like early to the bus stop, and our bus didn't leave for like another hour and a half or something, and there were a couple gift shops like right there. So we were like, all right, let me go get something really quick for the people that house sat for us. So I go into the shop. It's just like this really cute like Mexican art shop, and I'm in there for like 5 minutes, and another woman comes in from Australia. I just knew because of her accent. And she had like a big fat suitcase with her. So the store lady, the lady that like owned it, was just like, hey, do you mind just like leaving your suitcase at the door or like by the door? And this woman was like, no.
No.
No. She said no. No, I'm going to leave it with myself. Thank you.
That's a really good accent.
It was okay. But she's like, I'm just going to carry it with myself. Thanks. But anyway, so the lady was like, no, I don't want it to roll all over the store. There's a lot of breakable items, whatever. It just like escalated. And this woman was just like, well, I don't want somebody to steal it. I'm not going to continue to do the accent. She's like, I don't want anybody to steal it. And like, I'm just like, lady, you're telling on yourself right now. Like, what do you think people on the street are just going to steal your bag? Like, what? And it was just like this whole thing. She wouldn't let it go. And then the store lady was just like, okay, well, if you don't want to, like, it's my store, it's my rules, you can leave if you don't agree with it. And she's like, you're a piece of work. And just like left. Like, I mean, it was awful. Like, they were really having now. She's like, do you have a problem with me? All of this stuff. And I was just like, bitch, I have never seen this in my whole life. And then for
Yes,
sure.
fully.
And then later that day, there was a Karen on the plane too. Oh, no, not on the plane, because her fucking TV didn't work on the plane.
Oh my God.
So she was standing in the middle of the aisle until the flight attendant had to come down and be like, we have a job to do. I need you to clear the aisle. And she's like, my TV's not working. Is there anywhere else I can sit? And they were like, no, we are on a fully booked flight. Like, you idiot. Anyway,
I
sorry.
would have switched with her just to shut her up, but then I
Right?
would have like perpetuated her
Yes.
attitude.
I'm like, I don't need you to continue to be a Karen. Yeah.
Read a book.
Read a book, bitch. Read the Sky Atlas,
Watch
bitch.
the TV next to you.
Right?
Bring back Sky Mall.
Isn't that
You
more
need
exciting?
to look at the foot bath.
Isn't that more exciting anyway to like watch what the person next to you is watching? Because that's what I always do.
Wait, sorry. Can I? I'm sorry. I have another story.
All right, let's
sorry.
go. It's turning into
It's
story
recent. It's recent because I was on the flight back here from Los Angeles, and there was like this random group of teenage boys, and like this cluster of them by me, and they couldn't have
Wait,
been.
you told us this
They,
about. Okay,
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
they
yeah,
could
let's
not
do it.
have been older than 15, 16. And I don't know why they were there. It didn't appear they had a chaperone, and they had their headphones plugged into one TV screen, the two sitting next to me because I was in the window. And they were watching Harry Potter, and like every time they would be in class like learning the wand things, they would just like quietly do the motions with them. And I remember I was sitting there and it was like the end of the flight, and no, because they would be like swish and flick, and you could see them very attentively, like not even in like a silly way, like trying it. And then at the end of the flight, they were both still watching it. They're like, let's just stay on the plane and finish the movie. And I'm in the window seat like, oh my God, am I going to get locked in here by two 14-year-olds wanting to watch The Chamber of Secrets? And I was like, can I get out, please? And then they moved.
And they were like,
That's all.
oh, yeah, you exist.
Amazing.
Crazy.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Not Leviosa. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
It doesn't look like they were a sports team. Maybe esports, because they all look like nerds.
Unaccompanied minors.
No, yeah, I was like, what? It didn't look like a field trip. There were no lanyards. Like, I don't know.
Wild. Okay, well, to completely flip the script on this, and then I think we'll go to round 3.
Okay, sounds good.
This is the last round 2 question, but I love this question. Has a stranger ever changed your life? Whoa. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Multiple times. But so I think this is like an actual term, but I always like to call these people like trail angels. It's just like people that you like meet when you're traveling that are just like really awesome. So I actually have 2 different ones. The very first one that I ever met was in Italy, and it was my last weekend there. So I was like I was starting to feel like pretty homesick, pretty like ready to go home. I had been there for 3 months. So I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm like, I miss my friends. I miss Virginia, like all that. But we went to, I can never pronounce it right, Cinque Terre. And it was the most like gorgeous place that we went. But I think I told you guys this earlier. Like a lot of the people that I went with, I just like, I don't want to say they weren't my favorite people, but they just like they weren't very good travel partners, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know, that day involved a lot of hiking and walking and just like physical activity. And I'm not calling these people lazy, but they just like weren't into it. So anyway, they basically wanted to just kind of go through everything as quickly as possible, and I'm like, I want to like see some shit. Like I want to vibe. I want to like look at everything, take pictures, like take my time. So anyway, like the people that I went with kind of just like ditched me from the start. So I was like walking alone for most of the day. Scary. It was not like completely alone, but just like not with anybody that I knew. But then there was this guy who was, I don't know, probably like 35 or so, walking with his wife up behind me, and he just like complimented my bag and was like, I really like that bag. That's a nice bag. And then we started walking together, and he, I don't know, like it almost sounds creepy when I like describe it initially, but he just was kind of like, you know, I can tell that you're like different from the people that you came with. Like, I feel like you're just a really attentive person, and like you just have like a really calming energy. And like, he was just like saying these really nice things, but not in a creepy way. It was just like, wow, like I'm being seen by somebody where like everybody else that I was with ditched me essentially. And he was just like such a nice calming presence, and I really loved him. And I remember his first name, but I could not for the life of me catch his last name, and he didn't write it down. So I like wanted to add him on Facebook, but I never like saw him again or added any, like never found him on Facebook. And I'm like so sad about it, because he was just this awesome guy from like Colombia, South America. And I was like, fuck, like I would just love to like see you again, or like see the pictures that we took together that day. Cause like I ended up walking with him and his wife the whole time, and they were just amazing. And it was really lovely. And I still think about him a lot. And I met a similar person, last year when Mikey and I were traveling, who gave us just like, it was very similar, like calming vibes, just like this kind of like quirky Dutch man on our way to Amsterdam. And he gave us like the most beautiful, potent relationship advice ever.
What was it? I can't remember.
What was it? It was, I'm trying to remember how he put it, but it was like, when you're in a long-term relationship with somebody, eventually you're going to come up on things from your past, or like things that like bother you that the other person does, and you don't even know why it bothers you, but you just like know that it does and you don't know why you react the way you react. And like, that's the hard work in a relationship, is getting through that and like understanding that this is like something from your past that you need to work through. And I like, it really picked up for me, but I didn't think it was going to pick up for Mikey as much as it did. But he brought it up after the fact and was just like, wow, that was like really, really awesome that he said that. So we still think about him all the time too.
Love.
And it was just sweet. He was like just like a sweet, quirky Dutchman wearing like a Naruto shirt, and he was just like this like 60-year-old dude, just like,
Who would have thought?
right? He was so cool. But anyway, love trail angels.
Yes.
Go find a trail angel.
So am I picking level 2 or level 3?
3.
Okay. This, I guess, could be a question for all of us. I think I would want all of us to answer this.
Okay.
It's a good one. It says, how does one earn your vulnerability? Have I earned it? And how can I earn more?
Ooh. Okay, you start.
Oh, God.
You got the question.
Well, I feel like like I said earlier, I like to speak my truth. So I feel like I can be pretty vulnerable with people. It's just a different degree of how vulnerable I could be. Mm-hmm. And I think that you could earn it through like loyalty. Like, obviously you guys could ask me any question and I would tell you anything you want to know, because we've known each other since we were literally fetuses. So like, you have seen me through especially Roxy, because you've known me since elementary school, since we were like 8 years old.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, like 20 years almost.
Oh my.
I'm going to vomit right now. I should not have said 20. But literally, but it is a gift. Like, how many people can say that they've known someone for 20 years and still only be 27? Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, maybe because we weren't in the same 3rd grade class, right? So maybe I had Miss Stanton. But yeah, Mrs. Chiano was crazy. Yeah, she was crazy. You've known me since elementary school for a very long time. And so, yes, you guys have like seen me through every awkward stage. And I feel like in order to just get my vulnerability to the point where I don't care what I say around you would just be to be loyal and like be that friend that's there for me through all of life's phases. And like I've mentioned to you guys before, like, even though you live across the country, Roxy, like, I never feel like if I needed something from you, I couldn't come to you and ask you or talk to you about it, even though you live how many miles away, you know?
Ushy gushy.
I appreciate that. And I'm glad you guys see that, because I think that's something I like to live my life with. But I also know if I'm gone, sometimes people don't understand like but I really will do anything to help you guys if something goes wrong. So yeah. I concur with all that. I mean, listen, if you guys have definitely earned my vulnerability. You saw me at age 16. So like like what else is there to see?
We were
like you see me. I don't think life even gets worse or uglier or stupider than that. So, you know, that was probably the worst time of my life by far. And the fact that we're all still friends. I'm like, yeah.
It only goes up from there. Okay?
The answer is yes. So that's easy.
Yes. Okay. Boom. I guess my answer to that question is, honestly, I feel like I'm a little bit the opposite. Like, it doesn't take that much for me to be vulnerable, because I like just like being open with people. However, I will say I definitely look for a vibe first. Like, if I'm like meeting new people, it's always like a goal for me to feel comfortable enough to be having these awesome open conversations immediately with people. But you can kind of catch a vibe sometimes and just be like, okay, like, are these the kinds of people that like want to know about my past, or like want to know about like my weird quirks, or like want to see me at my like, you know, my weird, most eclectic, most like loud, whatever. That's kind of what I try to pick up on, is like, okay, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
I guess the third part to that question is, how can I earn more? You guys really can't earn more vulnerability. Because
yeah,
you
no.
Like, you guys have that like 3rd level.
You have reached the threshold. Like, you are you can know anything you want to know. Yeah. Anything.
Yeah.
Sick.
Pick a card. Yes.
Oh, this is kind of fun. What do you think our most important similarity is?
Ooh, I like that.
The first thing that comes to mind is I think we're all very like individual people. and
Mhm.
appreciate that about each other. You know, we didn't
Aw.
all meet because we were on the same sports team. We didn't all meet because like our parents drove us somewhere. Like, I have no idea. We're a very eclectic bunch.
Yeah, we're all
Like,
very different.
Us three, as well as like our friend group beyond.
Yeah.
Like, I actually think a big part of it is we all appreciate music.
True.
What's our most important similarity? And I think that is like in terms of like a hobby / like artistic similarity. I think that's it.
I think that whether you believe it or not, one of our most important similarities for the whole friend group beyond us would be that every single one of us, similar to what you were saying, is unapologetically ourselves in some aspect. And music kind of brought us together, but we're all still like, Erin's like, hey, I'm this like weird girl that loves Earth. Go off, sis. And then
I hate Earth.
and then
Hashtag Earth is over party.
right. And then there's Roxy, who's like, the thing you know about Roxy, she's fun, she likes to dance, and like that's the vibe she brings. And then I feel like there was me, who I felt out of everyone in the group a little bit more cookie cutter, like, which, you know, you but I felt like I was like, okay, like,
It's because you were the only one who was athletic.
but I was the
The only one
one
who could catch a ball.
but like everyone was like, okay, I can't, I have to go to theater, or I have band practice, and here I
Okay,
was
so you
like-
weren't a loser.
So I was a cool kid. But no, I was like, okay, like, sorry, I can't, I have to go to soccer. And it just felt really cookie cutter to me because all my friends were so cool. They could play instruments. They could act really well. They could do these fun artsy things. And I'm like, I can crochet like a scarf every now and then, but I can kick a mean soccer ball. Like,
I
you know?
wish. I could, you know me, I could literally never. And 99% of our friend group
And you know what? That's okay.
could literally never. So kudos to
was
you.
literally, I think, the only one that played a sport. Did anyone else?
Okay, I swam. Thank you. But
Okay,
I
sorry,
a sport with a
forgot.
ball. Yeah. No.
Yeah, boys. Did the boys play? Oh, Mikey did play lacrosse. He was pretty. I forget about that.
I forgot.
Forget that about Mikey.
He does
all the
not
time.
give off
He was a
Lax
Lax
Bro
Bro.
vibes.
Until you see him with the Lax Bros, because I saw him with the Lax Bros at the bar the other week, and I was like, okay, it makes sense.
I'm gonna find a picture before y'all leave here to show you, because like when he's in the uniform, it's there, but
He is tall and lanky.
it didn't fit. He didn't fit like the stoner vibe quite, you know. But anyway, yeah.
Or like the weird prepster vibe.
yeah,
No.
Little, he's like me. He also loves Earth, and he's a little crunchy boy.
You guys are crunchy, but in a good way. I think. I really.
Thanks.
I'm like undercover crunchy.
Yeah,
I think.
I love being crunchy granola. All my students immediately like think I'm vegan, which is really funny.
I could see it. Yeah. The vocal fry. All of us. Yeah.
All my students think I'm vegan,
Vegan.
dude. But like,
She did work
but
at a farmer's market.
I did work at a farmer's market, and tell me why I have highly considered making candles and selling them at the farmer's market.
They're made out of authentic soy.
I have made candles before, and they actually shut up.
It's okay. I do it too. Like,
Shut up.
I think that's another similarity about all us. It's no. I'm being for real right now. We're all very
are.
creative people. And we're all doers.
I have a podcast, bitch.
Exactly. You have a podcast. You're making a child, and you made your master's degree happen.
That's the wait. Can I say something?
yeah.
Can
And
I
you
say
crochet
something
like.
controversial? Not controversial. Woo woo.
Oh.
Making a child is the utmost form of creativity. Can I just say that?
It
You
really is.
made a
Listen.
child.
everyone says, wow, good job, mom and dad. And I'm like, dad?
He provided the tools, but you
Listen.
created that little baby.
I tell him all the time that he gave me one ingredient for the recipe and I did everything myself.
okay, facts.
But then the baby came out looking like him. And so
rude.
and I think that is the biggest injustice that children can do. Come out looking like their partner when their mother puts in every ounce of work. And
Rude.
But I had a really easy pregnancy. I can't complain. So
We love that little baby.
My little tiki boy.
He's
He
so
is. He already is so
sweet.
loved. He's such a sweet boy.
Okay, I'm trying to pick one last good level 3 question. Ooh, okay. This one is a little bit like self-indulgent, so I don't know if I love it, but how would you describe me to a stranger?
Exactly the way I did earlier.
Crunchy granola?
I would say that you're sort of like you are down to earth, and I think
An Aries?
you enjoy the
Shocking.
simple pleasures in life, and
That is true.
I think you also are someone who is a doer, but not in the corporate sense.
Facts.
You like to garden, and you like to teach, and you like to do creative things outside of work, and you like to skateboard and all these other things, but you don't do it in a way that's like, I need to earn all these points so I can look cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think you give very like bass guitar vibes, which, you know,
Ooh.
yeah.
A necessity. Thanks, babe. Wow.
Yeah, listening to
Thanks.
Roxy, I feel like when I was telling like my college friend group about you, like I knew you all would get along because of like the basic similarities there of like, yeah, she's okay. Let me I was in a sorority in college, if you didn't know. But like my sorority was like a sorority that was for the girls that needed to be involved, because I went to a really small university where in order to have fun you needed to get involved, and the biggest thing to do on campus was Greek life. So my sorority was like all of the girls who were like, yeah, I'll join a sorority, but like I don't really want the sorority vibe. And you
Mhm.
get that from my friend group.
Mm-hmm.
But where was I going with this? Oh, when I was describing you to them, I was like, she's not like someone that hangs around with a lot of girls a lot, which is not a bad thing. But I was like,
I think that's changed.
it's changed.
It definitely has changed.
It has changed, but I think at the time you still were very much like a boy's girl, but like in
Yeah.
a great way. Like
I'm
like,
not
in a
like
good
other
way.
girls.
like
I'm friends with guys.
you've never been like exactly. You've never been like a pick me girl. You're always a girl's girl, but it's more like you just were never caught up in like the things that I would say like a quintessential sorority girl would be caught up in, like looks and how people perceive you and all these other things. You're just like, I'm just gonna do me, and like if you don't vibe with that, like that's cool for you, but I'm gonna go skateboard to the farmer's market and buy myself a nice juice and put it in my tote bag. that
Nobody
is from
else.
Bamboo.
Nobody has ever in one sentence described me more accurately than that. Damn.
And I need to say that the juice is cold pressed on site.
I mean, duh. I mean, what else are you going to do if you're not paying $11 for a juice? Hello? Hello?
But yeah, so I've always said like she's a girl's girl, but like she's mostly hangs out with boys. So like she's just really chill and like, you know,
Thanks.
loves Mother Earth. And
Thanks.
yeah.
That sounded alien.
No, it's like,
Thanks. Well, guys, an avocado. Thanks. Casey, my brother, gave me an avocado for Christmas once and wanted me to do exactly that, and I did.
Is that the one we're gonna end on?
Okay, well, there is a last question, but I kind of want to adapt it because it
Okay,
involves like
let's
the normal
adapt it.
the normal
17 millimeters. I have to know for pumping. So like legitimately, yeah, 17 millimeters.
nice. I would not know that.
I have a measure. I can send it to you.
Incredible.
They are weird.
They really are. God. Okay, before we get into the last question, I did just want to add in how deep and true of friends we are because I drank Megan's breast milk.
Yeah, you did drink my breast milk.
It was pretty good.
I'm pretty sure that one was a little bit sour because I did try it later and I was like, oh, that's gross. Like when it's freshly pumped, it tastes a lot better than what you had.
It was like really sweet.
It doesn't have a taste at all.
Oh.
It's just, well, like it does, but it has like a sweet taste, if that makes sense.
Well, I'll read the last question, but I want to adapt it because it involves like writing messages to one
Yeah,
another.
I don't want to do that.
But we could just like say nice things about each other. I guess. So, okay, well, it says each player write a message to each other, open only once you have parted. But we can't really do that right now. So I'm just going to say, Roxy, I'm really glad you came home. I didn't say this yet, but Roxy came home for one of our other really, really close middle school best friends' weddings. That was this past weekend.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Tori. She's a wife. Oh my God. And I just like genuinely
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. I know. I was thinking about this earlier today and I was like, all right, so we had our group of 5. The 5 out of the 5 are in loving, committed relationships.
Yeah.
3 out of the 5. 3 out of the 5 are engaged and 2 out of the 5 are married.
And 1 out of the 5 has a child.
Anyway,
It's my personality. I'm sorry.
and 1 has a mortgage.
Yeah, honestly, that's tougher than a child. Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's a flex. But what can I say?
She's a homeowner.
Sheesh. But anyway, I just wanted to say, I'm really like, I cannot overstate how happy I am that we are all still friends after literally 20 years. That's insane to me. Probably, I guess. Bleh. Yeah. It'd be 15. Whatever. Like, I met you in 2008. So, yeah, 15 years.
15 years.
Which is actually insane.
Twilight year.
Oh, my God.
2008.
I know. So, yeah, like,
no,
we literally...
I disassociated the financial crisis with Twilight.
I mean, I'm sure you've all seen the TikTok, but we're playing Just Dance in Megan's basement while upstairs her dad is like freaking out over how we're gonna pay the mortgage.
The two genders are the financial crisis and Twilight.
No, but listen, the financial crisis really hit my house hard because both my parents worked in the home building business.
Oop. My dad's a surveyor.
Yeah, fun fact, we don't live in that house anymore because we were foreclosed.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Anyway,
we're still here. Just really happy that we're all still friends and that we literally just went to one of our other friends' weddings and it's going to continue to happen and we're forever friends. I hope you know that. And I love you both very much. No, but I mean also for you, like, Jesus Christ, you're a mother and
scary.
Wow.
That scares
You're
me.
a mother and I'm obsessed with your child.
Me too.
And like now I'm just really excited to be like, hey, do you want to hang out and do you want to bring the baby? Like, I'm just excited, just as excited to hang out with your offspring as I am to hang out with you.
Can't wait till he's old enough to like walk and talk and we can like do crazy shit with him.
Oh my God.
I was talking to Nick about this earlier with his mom. I'm like, it's going to be like, you feel like mom always has to be kind of hard ass. At least that's the dynamic it's been like in my house and like houses that I have seen. Like mom is a hard ass and dad's the fun one. It's going to be opposite with us. Nick is the hard ass and I'm the one that's like, you're so cute. Okay, let's go get some ice cream.
Oh my God. I love that for you. I feel like this is a really good like character development for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's made me a softie a bit.
Yeah.
He's made me like, anyway, that's like a whole other like
I know.
thing. But yes, he's made me a softie.
Little sweetie. Anyway. Okay. Should I pass off the mic? Or are we good here?
Or do we need to say, you and I need to say something nice to...
Oh, all right. Let's say some nice things.
You have things? I'm not prepared.
Okay, yeah, ditto to all that. And yeah, it's just really special. Like, the fact that we've been friends, I don't take it for granted, even though I don't talk to anyone ever. But that's
okay.
kind of just... Sarah and I are such good pals, and we text like 4 times a year. So
yeah.
If my silence seems like it's not there, trust me, I have only love for you guys, and I just find it so special. We get to be around when we're all real adults and you're having a child. Like, that is like the most magical thing in the that is like
insane,
the most magical and special thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it really, 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 really is. And it's like the things like that in life that make me feel like grateful to have friends like you guys. And yeah, so
Gushy, gushy.
thank you.
Yeah.
Liquid IV.
Not sponsored. Yeah, I guess. Like, I love that I can... it all comes back to Noah. I love that I can have a child and still feel like I'm able to be close to you guys, because I have some friends who are not the like maternal type and they don't want children. Like that's their choice and I respect that from them. But I always feel like there's like a certain level of me now that I can't talk to them about because they don't want to hear about my child all the time. But and I understood that before I had a child because I was like, yeah, like people really make their kid their personality. But it's like,
How can you not?
it's like you bring that, you bring.
Can I get heated about something? I get so tired of being on TikTok or Reels, and this is why I need to go outside and touch grass. When people in the comments are like, God, all my coworkers talk about are their kids. I'm like, yeah, because that's their whole life and their whole world. And you have friends who won't even show up for 6 p.m. drinks. So you know what? Like,
Facts.
you need to get a life. You need to get a hobby. You need to go on LinkedIn and you need to go to a carpentry class because clearly you're too much of a loser judging other people's wonderful lives where they enjoy the people they're with
Yes.
and are passionate about raising the next generation. So get a life and go to hell. Don't air that either.
No, but yes, it's there's something extra special, especially about being with someone you love and like creating this life that is a combination of the two of you, and that's just like so awesome to have. Because I was talking to Aaron and Nick about this because I was like, if you told me when I was 12 that I would have a baby with somebody that is in this school currently, because Nick and I also went to middle school together, I would have laughed in your face. And especially if you pointed to who I would have a baby with, I would have been like, you're kidding. He's aging like fine wine. But I look at pictures of him. I look at pictures of him and I'm like, honey, you got lucky. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm like, you are not it in high school. Not it. But that's okay.
It's okay. We all had room to grow.
No.
Listen, I thought Mikey was so hot in middle school, and then yes, but no. But
And he
here's
had
the
the
thing.
Bieber hair.
Here's the thing, though, is that like now I look at him then and I look at him now, and I'm like, damn,
Mikey
bro,
is
like
also
you
aging
got
like fine wine.
hotter.
Yes. Like,
How is that possible?
yes.
I know.
It is. No, because Nick was wearing plaid Bermuda shorts when I showed up and I said not anymore. And so here we are. But no, he's aging like fine wine, and I am so blessed to have him as a partner and a spouse because he outmoms me every day. And it's great. Like I love that I can talk about that stuff with you guys, and you guys are like, oh my God, shut up about your perfect husband and your perfect child. And yeah.
Look at us, huh?
Yeah.
Who'd have
You know
thought?
how often you deal with people who are like, yeah, I'm dating this guy and like he hasn't texted me back in 62 hours. What do I do? And it's like getting to talk to friends who are like, I have a husband who takes care of me and it treats me like a queen. I'm like, thank freaking God.
World of difference, you know.
Thank God.
God, there are good men out there.
He
I want
literally
more people
is
to
watching the
realize
baby
that.
so I can be here with y'all.
Yes. I want more people to realize that, and it sucks that like so many people don't, but it's like there are good men out there, bro. Like you just gotta find them. You gotta dig. It's not
Moral
easy.
of the story and bottom line of this podcast is date the ugly soccer boy in your middle school class and you will have a great, cute child.
And stay friends with your 12-year-old friendies. Because here we are.
Yeah, just kidding.
Not in a toxic way. Hey, if they didn't serve you, it's cool. But like, you know.
It's true. And that's the other thing, too, is all of our lives, like, we didn't all plan to go to the same college. In fact, I don't think any of us went to the same college.
We did not.
We all spread out. We all took on our own career paths, and we're still together. So
Here we are. Just really happy to have you all. Thanks for coming out.
Yay!
Yay!
La 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 la. And
La,
we
la, la,
all
la, la,
can
la.
quote SpongeBob at any moment.
La 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 la.